This is Erica DelSignore. I'm the founder of Daily Lead Campaign, where we help our clients find lots of leads, clients, and revenue faster using social media and video marketing. And this is my series called Great Minds, Great Marketing. And we are so fortunate, I swear you are going to be my most interesting guest, Jay, to have Jay Emery here. And I'm just going to make sure that I introduce this correctly, but he owns Dingly Dell Enterprises, and they are manufacturers of the Bushman burner range, and they specialize in fire stoves for making pizza and other awesome food. Did I say all that correctly?
That's good enough. Yeah, we specialize in making wood-fired ovens for cooking pizzas and helping people start mobile catering businesses or food trucks, as you like to know them.
Oh, perfect. Well, I met Jay. He's part of one of my mastermind groups that I'm in, and I have to say, like, one of the most dynamic and interesting people that I've met. And I was so excited because I know the first time we met, you were just testing out the group, and I'm like, oh, I really hope that we get this guy because he's just really going to add a lot to the group. And I don't know anyone that has a business like yours. So not only do you have this business, but you have an interesting past. So all the other different types of entrepreneurial adventures that you've been able to get into are quite interesting, and even at a young age. So the stories that I'm referring to are those about being on ski patrol and an instructor and a street performer, a fire eater, and now you're making fire ovens. Can you give us just a little background about where you've come from and bring us right up to where you are now and how you've gotten into the business of making these stoves?
Yeah, sure thing, Erica. As you probably worked out from my accent, I'm not English. This is coming to you via a very dubious kind of link across the airways, a little bit of satellite broadcast and all the rest of it to you in America. But originally I'm from South Africa. I was raised on a small holding in South Africa, and I have had an incredibly interesting life and a very enjoyable one. I always said that I wanted to go through life and not have any regrets, and I have very, very few. I try and live life to the full and do the things that I enjoy. So my business, Dingly Dell Enterprises, was set up to manufacture wood-fired ovens or products that I created, and to market systems that I created to help people better their lives. So my entrepreneurial spirit really started when I was really, really young. In South Africa, like I say, we lived on a small holding, and I think the first entrepreneurial inspiration I had was to mow lawns. And I was going to, my sisters rode horses, and I was going to get one of those racing go-karts, and I kind of gave that some thought, and I thought to myself, well, rather than a racing go-kart, maybe I should get a lawnmower, one of them sit-on ones, and I could go and cut people's grass and get paid for it. That seems a lot more exciting than a racing go-kart. Following on that, we also had 4 cows. So right from a really young age before school, I used to milk the cows, go to school, come back from school, milk the cows again, and then do a milk run, which was my pocket money. So yeah, cutting grass and the milk run really was the start of my entrepreneurial roots. From there, I did my national service. Now, I am quite severely dyslexic. I used to think of this as a problem, and when I was a lot younger, used it as a huge excuse. I now see it as probably my greatest asset, because my mind works completely different to other people. So whereas people would think that dyslexia was a problem, I actually do see it now as the biggest asset that I have. So I did my national service, became an officer in the South African Defence Force, and I was then the youngest full lieutenant in the South African Defence Force. I was 17 when I was promoted. And then I left South Africa to go skiing. I spent 8 years in Austria as a ski instructor with the famous Red Devil ski school. I then joined another little ski school and became a director of that ski school. And then I was headhunted to go back to South Africa to sell ski holidays to South Africans, which I did for a period of time. That didn't really work out for me. The idea of working for other people just doesn't suit me very well at all. I don't take instruction from others very easily. So I came back to Europe. I then had to find a way to make a living, and entertaining is one of the things that I enjoy. So I busked on the street, I blew fire on the street, I still walked on the streets, I did magic in the streets, and then I moved into corporate hospitality and commercial magic. I did that for about 7 years, and one of the problems with being a professional entertainer is that you tend to work the weekends and don't do much during the week. So I used to paint people's houses and do kind of all odd jobs, and I was painting somebody's house, and I slid down the ladder into a cow pat because I had this brilliant spark of an idea of how to make what you guys call Mexican chimeneas. Now, we have Mexican chimeneas in England, but they don't last very long because our climate and the vagaries of our climate are so intense. My wife had bought me one for my birthday, and I lit it. It lasted 2 fires and fell apart. So I came up with a product which now lasts, God, some of my customers say up to 14, 15 years. I've got some customers now 16 years with still using the original Bushman burner that I sold them. So this business was then set up to manufacture a range of garden ornaments and products, which I created. So we have a patent for the manufacture of Bushman burners. I also developed a low-cost housing solution for the third world, and the wood-fired ovens. And it's the wood-fired ovens really that have changed the way I run my business. And that's down to Google advertising and Google AdWords, which I'm sure we'll get into later on in the conversation. So that kind of gives you an overview of where I've come from, what I've done, and yeah, let's take it from there.
I think that's incredible, and I know that we could do an entire interview just on your previous work experience and the fun stories. Some of the fun stories that you've told me have been just incredible. So I do want to get into some of the nooks and crannies of your business now, and how you've become such a household name amongst your niche, and we'll talk about that. So, how you got started in this. What have been some of the challenges that we can learn from as entrepreneurs that have taught you very valuable lessons? Save us some money on not making the same mistakes.
Right. I have to say that really early on when I started this business, the internet was in its infancy. So I started about 17, 18 years ago. And in order to market my business, in order to get out there to the people and show them what I was selling, we had to go and do trade shows and garden shows and exhibitions. And so you've probably heard about the Chelsea Flower Show, which is one of the world premier flower shows. I've done that. I've won awards at that show. I've done all the shows throughout England trying to sell my product. So in the early days of this business, it was about manufacturing the garden heaters, the chimeneas, and just wood-fired ovens. Somebody came and asked me if I could make them a wood-fired oven 17 years ago. From South Africa, we had kind of built ovens in termite mounds, so I knew what the principle was, but it had to be so much more. So I developed a style of an oven. I got some help on the designs of the original ovens. And then we had to try and sell this concept of having a wood-fired oven like the one you see behind me to people to put into their garden. And literally for 10 years, I treaded the boardwalks, going from show to show to show to show to try and sell product. And what I found was that event organizers were getting very rich, and I wasn't making much money. And then Google came along, and it started off with Google Overture. And we signed up to Google Overture. And then the following year, God, I've got to be going back 10, 12 years, at least 10 years ago. I did a switch. Just 1 year, I stopped doing all the trade shows completely, and all I focused on was Google AdWords and using Google to find the customers. And that was a monumental, it was a paradigm shift in the way that we did marketing, in the way that we attracted customers, and in the way that we did business. So I literally haven't done trade shows or shows for about 10 years now, and all I do is through Google. But the key to that marketing strategy was, without a doubt, putting videos on the website. So I've had videos on my website for 17 years. When the first video or first website went up, you had to download code to watch that video. And then when Microsoft launched Media Player, I was just so excited, because here was a way that I could really communicate with people quite easily through video. And we changed the video to play on Media Player, and that video that's original video is still running now, still generating sales 17 years later. I mean, I look like a young kid in that video, but the excitement that I have for this new product I developed just keeps selling products. So yeah, video is the key, guys. If you aren't doing videos, then really you should be. And Erica, this is what this whole series is about.
I know, and I have to thank you for bringing that up, because that's what I do. And I got into the business because something happened with my LinkedIn marketing business, and I thought, well, what else can I sell? Well, what I've been doing for myself? And these videos are really a great way for people to get to know, like, and trust you. And it's just helped me close, hundreds of thousands of dollars in deals over the years, just by people seeing the excitement and the passion that I have for the video marketing and for the marketing in general, helping people build their business and build new lives and the rest of it. So it all does start with video, in my opinion. I'm glad that you agree. I want to see this video that you're talking about of you you as a young buck out there selling your first stove. That sounds awesome.
So yeah, it is. It is. I use several mediums for for broadcast. So I have a YouTube broadcast channel, and if you just type in Jay Emery into YouTube, you'll usually find me right at the top of the list. That's an easy one. But then to broadcast via my email lists or to send information out to new customers, we use Vimeo for sending that information out.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is really great information. So you had challenges, just to sum up, with doing a lot with trade shows, and people putting on the trade show were really making all the money. And I know what it's like, because I do a lot with trade shows too. But I think it's I do get clients there, but mostly it's to gain notoriety and credibility and celebrity a little bit. So that's why I use it. But bar none, it's phone calls, it's the marketing we do online, it's all of that really helps bring in the deals. And I do YouTube advertising, which is on the Google AdWords platform, because Google bought YouTube. And so I've done a little bit of both. I like the YouTube advertising because I can get a lot more for my money. But obviously video is where it's at. But I'm, it's really just about finding what works for your audience. And video for you is so key, because you can see how beautiful this little set is that you made. And I know you don't want to show the rest of it, but I just want to tell you all that this poor man is sitting in -4-degree weather to bring us this.
If you see this, this is not smoke. It's steam. It's that cold. It's still white frost. And I'm actually sat in front of this oven. Is one of our mobile catering units. So this is a little oven on a little 3-wheeler tuk-tuk, which you take around to festivals and shows. So this is what it looks from the customer's perspective this way. But if you have to turn it around and look that way, it's freezing, which is why most of my customers take December and January off. It's because it's so cold. I mean, as I speak now, I mean, I set this business up because I really wanted to help people change their lives. And I've got one guy at the moment, and last year, he started a year and a half ago using one of my systems. Last year was the first Christmas he had had with his family in 30 years. And this year, he's in New Zealand and Australia for nearly a month. They're traveling around. They're just making so much money from the model. So when I hear stories about like that of how people have really changed their lives from what I've been able to help them and what I've developed, is just like mind-blowing. That's what gets me up in the morning. It's those stories. To sit here with you in the freezing cold when all the staff are still on holiday is because I want to get that kind of message across to people. And the video format that we have here is just perfect for that.
Oh, totally. And I'm telling you, bar none, you will have the best set of anybody I talk to, probably years to come. I'll look back on this. You're going to have to come back on again. All right.
You're too kind.
So I want to talk about what is there's a lot of different things that you can do. You've already kind of talked about this a little bit. The marketing combination. I mean, you and I both know we've taken a lot of courses on marketing through GKIC and elsewhere, just on news. How do you get a newsletter out? How do you optimize those so that you can capitalize on those? What kind of email series should you have? I'm doing this new video interview series because I think that this is an incredible way for me to strengthen the bond between the people I'm interviewing, obviously, help them by getting them out to an audience of millions on social media, and help me by meeting their audience as well. So, I mean, that's one of my strategies. But there's so many things that you can do, and it's quite overwhelming for a lot of entrepreneurs. You've mentioned about Google AdWords. Is there a combination with that and something else that has really helped you develop a lot more business?
Yes, and let me tell you, it's taken some time to sort out. I'm very proactive in speaking to people. I think that the more that you can engage with people, the more you can speak to them, the more they end up liking you, the more they like you, the better chance that you have of doing business with them. And I will tell you straight now that the biggest challenge that I have is that the products that I sell are not the cheapest products by far. In actual fact, we sit right at the other end of the scale at the most expensive product in this genre. So within my niche of, should we call it, wood-fired ovens and mobile pizza catering, we are right at the top there. And that's because I spent 17 years developing the model that everybody else uses. And it's so easy for people to climb in underneath you, So you have to build a strategy to be able to protect that price point. And celebrity, as you mentioned earlier on, is one of the ways to do that. So my video feed channel helps do that. But the other thing, or the other way that we do that, is that I use Google AdWords to drive new customers. The thing I like about Google is that if somebody goes and types into Google that they're looking for a wood-fired oven, if I'm prepared to pay enough, then I'm at the top of that listing. Once they click on that listing, I send them directly to a specific landing page. That's not a general landing page. That's a specific landing page which talks about the products that they're interested in. So if you've done a search for interested in starting a mobile catering business, and you see my ad and you click on that ad, you'll go straight to a landing page which tells you all about mobile catering. Once you hit that page, I then do everything that I can to extract an email address from you. So on every page that you're looking at, there is a video, there's a pile of videos, and there's a sign-up box. And that is, for me, absolutely critical. Because once I have their email address, I put those people into a 100-day email sequence. Now, wow. When I started this, everybody...
What a day for 100 days?
100-day email sequence. So when I started this out, keep in mind that I'm dyslexic. So, to write 100 days is just a mammoth task. But I shortcutted that, Erica, because what I found out is that the original sequence was 10 days long. 10 days, and the purpose of that sequence was to drive them to a discovery consultation where they sat down with me and we discussed the opportunity, or we discussed the oven for their garden, or we discussed whatever they wanted, right? But what I was finding is that the email sequence ran 10 days, 1, 2, 3, 4. And somebody would get email number 1, they'd get email number 4, they'd get email number 6, and then start asking you questions about email number 2, which used to drive me mad. So I decided, no, this is insane. I tell you what, let's do this. In my email sequence, which is now 100 days long, we send them the same email for 10 days. We just change the subject line in the first paragraph, all right? In that email, same email, because here's the thing, is that in that email, if you read it, when you get halfway through or to the bottom of the email, we then tell you that tomorrow we're going to start talking about something else, you know, about how to install the oven, about what size oven you need, etc., etc. So if they would like that email, they have to request it. So they click on the button to request it, all right? If they do that, then the next 9 emails in that sequence are stopped, and they go straight to email number 2. And then we send them email number 2 for 10 days. But at any point that they ask for email number 3, we stop that sequence. So here's the thing about the sequence, and this is why it works so beautifully, is that if you're engaged, it can run 10 days. And let me tell you that if I see somebody opening email every single day, they're on the ball. They need a telephone call right away to say, hi guys, you need to come and see me, you're hot. But what invariably happens is somebody kind of gets the first 3 emails, they're engaged, and then something happens and they don't get the next email, and then they don't get the next email, they might be off for the weekend, they might be away. Well, if I didn't do the 100-day email sequence the way I've done it, then they would miss all that content, and that content is absolutely critical to them understanding what they need either for their garden or for their business. So, I mean, I don't think I've got anybody that's run 100 days. They've even run away by then, or they've become a customer. For me, sometimes people tell me, they say, geez, Jay, what happens when people say they don't want any more information from you? I don't care. If they tell me they're not interested in getting the emails anymore, I'm as happy as them saying, I want to come and meet you, because then those are my time wasters. Because in those emails, I've told them about price points and why they're going to have to spend more money with me. I've told them about what they're going to get. And at no point anywhere in that email sequence have I tried to sell them anything. All I've done is give them valuable information, at which point they're harping on. They want to know the prices of things, and I hold those prices back. You won't find prices for my product anywhere on the internet. The only way you get a price is to request it, and that is a positioning strategy. I'm just going to put another log. I'm just going to put another log on the fire because it's freezing, and my hands are turning. Look, they're turning blue. So at least if I do this, I can keep warm.
This will be the only interview where the interviewee turns into an ice cube.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay, carry on, Erica. I don't know if I kind of rambled on there for hours.
No, I love that. I love that email sequence idea. I actually haven't heard of anyone doing that but you. I mean, there have been email sequences, but I don't think people really put the same email in just a different headline until somebody. I mean, have you heard of anyone else doing that but yourself? Where did you even get that idea?
No, it just kind of made sense to me. If you've got the same, you see, the thing is, if you change the header or the subject line, then they think it's a new email anyway. And then they'll start reading the first paragraph, and then they'll start reading the email, and then they say, oh, I've read this email already. I might as well request email number 2. That's going to be more interesting. So it definitely works. It definitely works for me.
Wow. This is incredibly valuable. Thank you so much. Let's see here. So out of all the courses that you've taken, what course has helped sharpen your skills the most as an entrepreneur?
Oh, blimey, there's so many. Sometimes I think I'm a course junkie, but you kind of get to a point where I kind of made a decision. Yeah, I made a decision at the beginning of, at the middle of this year when I came to the first GKIC thing. which was that information without implementation is as good as not having the information at all. And I've had a couple of mentors. Here in the UK, we have a guy by the name of Chris Cardell, who really, really helped me on my business. And when my business was in dire straits, I don't know how I could almost afford to go to his first seminar, but I went, and he said something at that seminar which absolutely blew my mind and has been the kind of pivot point in everything I do. He said to me that there was a percentage of my customers that were prepared to pay 10 times what they were paying at the moment for literally the same product. All you have to do is go and find those customers. And this is really how we find the premium price point. And it's now to those customers that I do business.
Right.
Having said that, what I have been able to do is load the core product with a whole lot of other stuff, so that the bundle is so much better than the individual parts. So most people come and buy an oven from me, one, because they're the best ovens. You know, they still personally handmade by myself. There is nobody else in the world that makes a Bushman wood-fired oven other than me. I still personally handmake them. They are the most robust ovens for mobile catering. They're the most robust ovens for restaurant catering. But they are all individually handmade. They're not mass-produced, and as a result, they have a premium price point. But when you bundle that together with all the information and the support and the advice and the planning and the layout and the design and the systems and the sequences and the ingredients and how to run a successful business, now you have a complete package, and that complete package is more important than the price of the original product. I kind of went off track there a bit, but I hope that kind of fills that in. What were we talking about, Erica? Because I went so far off track there that
We were talking about the courses, and you were
the
saying
courses.
that
So anyway, so Chris helped me. Yeah. So Chris helped me go from a very negative position to a very, very positive position, and I was with Chris in his original 100 group for 2 years, and then I joined his elite group, and that was very good. And then he stopped his elite group, and I wanted to get more information, and I wanted to. Well, I've been with Chris so long that there was literally. I needed a different viewpoint, and that's why I joined GKIC. Now, for me, I have to travel from England all the way to America to go to the GKIC peak performance meetings. But I have to say, I think they are brilliant. The thing I love about the peak performer sessions, one is the crowd. I mean, I get a buzz from the crowd. I mean, we are such a tight-knit team, and we really are driving and helping everybody every step of the way. And even when you get a kicking, which you do if you go on stage, get a kicking, which I did last time. I mean, the support from everybody coming back to me was just unbelievable, and for that I'm grateful. But I mean, the next meeting is in Orlando, and I think that the best flight I can get is like. Is it 23 hours traveling? So it's a huge commitment to get there, let alone the financial cost. So it has to spin out. And that's where this whole thing about information without implementation is as good as not having the information at all. And with GKIC, the meetings are very, very hands-on. And they are, the thing I love about them is that most of the other seminars I've gone to, they've always told you how to do things, and they've told you what to do, but they've never sat down with you and actually done it with you. So whenever I come back from any of the peak performer meetings, I've got a list of tasks and things that are half done, and all I've got to do is finish them, and that is brilliant.
After the last one, right?
Oh man, the last one was a killer. It's going to take me until the next one to implement even half of the things that we've done, but I'm on track.
Oh, I know you are. I got that email about all the success you've had just in making that one little change. How much would you say you've made from making that one little change of just really putting some more pressure on your salesperson to get those deposits into the stoves. Now,
Well,
Jay, you were telling me you had a funnel just full of opportunities. And I just want to say that, like, I've been in sales my whole life. I've worked on a lot of corporate sales teams, and that funnel can be a scary thing, because if it doesn't come to fruition, what if every single deal in your funnel doesn't come to fruition? Then you're out of business. So really forcing that salesperson to find out what's real and what's not by collecting deposits. So I will tell a little bit of your story, but I just wanted to interject what I thought as a salesperson, how much I love it. Go ahead.
So yeah, the sales funnel is important. I mean, we use Infusionsoft. I call it Confusionsoft, simply because it is so complicated to learn. I've had Infusionsoft for about 4 years, and I used it to send the occasional email out. But I never set up a system. And they talk at GKIC about having a sales machine, you know, and a machine just keeps churning away. And now that we've set up the proper Infusionsoft funnel, I can see those leads coming in. I can see the leads coming in. And as long as those leads are coming in, I know that something's going to drop out the bottom. I know that we're going to have a high fallout rate. But here's the thing, is that once you've made contact with a person, they say that in the old days, you used to have to make 7 contacts with somebody to get a buy, all right? I believe it's now so many more than that, so many more. And in actual fact, yeah, getting the message across to the sales guy that, you know, he's got to phone the person, and if he gets an answering machine message, he's got to send a text message to say that he tried to phone them, and follow that up with an email, so that they've got a voicemail message, they've got a text message, and they've got a email. Is just, it's just like an ever-going battle. But I believe that when you focus on those things and sit down and actually monitor the conversations, and you have that funnel driving to the conclusion, once they come to one of my consultations, I've gone over 80%. So as long as I've got people booked up to come to the discovery consultation, which is my 2-hour sales pitch, in a very informative, relaxed manner, without any pressure, that's when the hook is really embedded, and that's where I can reel the customer in.
That's phenomenal. That's really great information. So to sum it up, it's really not even a particular course that you've taken, but more about getting into that mastermind and you know, being amongst other people that are in your same situation, trying to achieve a lot of the same goals, and learning from them, and in addition to learning from the experts that are running the group. Is that a good summation?
I think that's very good, Erica, in the sense that, yes, you can go and do courses, but unless you've got other people that you can ask for help and advice, to take that course on its own is well, without somebody behind you kicking you all the way, getting you get stuff done, how are you ever going to know whether you've pulled it off or not? And that's what I find about the group meetings, is that when you have a group meeting and you're held accountable, and you've got a network of friends who all think the same way as you do, who are all as focused and as driven as you are, it makes a huge difference to your productivity. I mean, just last night, there's Doc Hashimoto, and he put this list of all the things he had done, and I'm thinking, blimey, it's Christmas. I'm still working till 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's still got more done than I have. When I grow up, I'd like to be just like him, because I don't know how he gets so much done. I don't know if he's just delegating it. But, you know, when we speak to you and we sit around that table, I find it infectious, and I get a real buzz, and I'm really excited when my peak meetings, and I'm, you know, off to America, and I'm going to learn some more stuff, because let me tell you, the people around me here have no idea. It's like jet aircraft flying past their ears. It's just like blinkers on. They have no idea. So, yep, you know, long may it last, and long may I continue to learn.
Exactly. And Doc Hashi is actually going to be a guest on the Great Minds, Great Marketing interview series. And he just emailed me at 2:34 in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
This morning. He said, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I do want to do this. I'm sorry for the late reply." It's like I can see why he's getting so many other things done, but this is one of the things he wants to implement.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I love it. I agree with you.
Maybe not, he's not as challenged in the writing as I am. I see his fingers fly over those keyboards at the meeting while he's taking notes, while I'm still trying to hit the keyboard with two fingers. Yeah, bless him. He is an absolute machine.
Whirlwind.
Yeah, he is. He's a
is.
whirlwind. Just on the point of books, Erica, there is one book which made a huge impact to me, and I think really sums up the learning sequence. And it's a book I go back to and read every year. I've just read it again, and that is The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. I think I think it's a book that you should read at least once a year, because it'll certainly bring you back on track, and it'll help you build your, or it'll help you visualize how you can make your business bigger than it is, and it might free up your own limitations, the limitations you set on your own mind as to where you can go. So, E-Myth Revisited.
So true, and okay, my favorite part of that book is just when they talk about when you start a business, you should write down all of the different people that would work in the business and realize that in the beginning you're wearing all the hats. So the more successful you are, it really depends on how fast you can fill those roles with the right people, and so that you're not playing all those roles, so that the only hat that's left is really the hat that that you like to wear the best, that you're the best at. So if I'm not a great accountant, I shouldn't be doing my books. And if I'm really better at doing interviews like this, or doing sales or speaking on stage, those are the things I should be doing for the business. I should leave the administrative things to other people. And Doc Heshy has even talked to me about my role at home, and how I get caught up with I have a 3-year-old, so I do a lot of dishes, a lot of laundry, a lot of cooking, and when I count up the hours, it's like 10 or 15 hours, and that doesn't even count the time I spend with my daughter, which I would never outsource. But he's really outsource that stuff, and I'm like, all right. So tough conversations at home about that, because it's not as traditional, but seriously, I'm a business owner, and you're not doing all that stuff if you're successful. So that's really awesome. And I was going to ask you about books, and so I'm glad that you've already answered that question.
There's another little tip that I want to give you on the book side of things. So
Okay.
I work about 18 hours a day on average. It's just kind of the set that I kind of fit into. So to get time to actually read a book, I find quite difficult. So just one little tip that I share with you is Audible. There are a lot of these books on Audible. Get an Audible account, because you can, my car is my university. All of my CDs, I don't have any music in my car. I find music puts me to sleep, whereas inspirational lectures wake me up. And many of the audio books, I hate driving. Driving is one of those things that I really do not enjoy, and if you drove on the English roads, you'd understand my feelings towards that. They're either far too windy and you can't see what's coming around the bend, or they're just straight and boring, and the traffic's going very slowly. But since put it this way, I changed a perfectly good music system in my car to a music system that took DVDs, which was inferior, but it took DVDs, purely so that I could play the DVDs of the seminars that I found interesting. So my car is ram-packed with CDs of different seminars, different strategies, etc., and it is my university. So the 20-minute commute in the morning is a university experience. Anytime I've got to go and see a customer, it's a university experience, and I put on a course, and I make that time worthwhile. So yeah, Audible.
That's amazing. And I've talked about that for a long time. Make your car your university. I've got CDs all over the car. I find stray ones all over the place. And I go, what's this doing here? In the middle of a book or in the middle of my dish collection. CDs are everywhere. All right. So I just wanted to talk about, because I know it's cold. I feel like you need to do some jumping jacks pretty soon. What is next? What is the next big thing in your business? In either just what you do in general, or in the the fire oven, the brick ovens that you make. What is the next big thing in that business?
So for the last 10 years, I've personally been hand making ovens. I make the ovens. I teach the people how to run their business. I show them how to set up a mobile catering trailer. I go and do training days with them. But I think really the next step for me is because sorry, let me rephrase that. Because so much cheap imports are now coming into the country, undermining the product or the niche that I created, because there was no mobile catering or wood-fired pizza ovens in the UK before I started making them and before I started trading pizzas on the street. I traded pizzas on the street to get through the last recession that we had after the Lehman Brothers crash. It was the only way I could survive. I took one of these ovens onto the street, started selling pizzas on the street, and from that wrote the business model, and from that wrote the book. That's the other thing you got to do, guys. You need to write a book, all right? I mean, if I can write a book, then anybody can write a book. So, so the next step for me really is to try and put together a mentoring and training package to help other people. So while we're losing out on some of the cheaper imports on ovens, owning an oven doesn't make a successful business. And the plan for 2017, 2018 is to build the Mobile Pizza Academy, or the Pizza Academy in the UK, where if you've bought an oven and you want to start a mobile business or you want to start a restaurant, then you can come and learn the basics from me. And that's where I'll put all my marketing in. All this money that I've spent on marketing to grow my own business, I can then help these people to grow their business. So it is really a marketing training academy that I wish to start up. And also, I'm getting older, so I'm going to have to find somebody else to make these ovens. In the factory when it's -4 in an open barn, you need young blood to keep going. When it's as cold as this, your hands don't work as well as they used to. And my factory is an open barn. Yeah.
I can't believe you're going to be working there all day today now. Oh,
well,
you're at the end of your day.
It's the end of our day now, so I've been here all this morning really trying to work out how we were going to make this interface work and set the stage, basically. Yeah. Oh, and yes, I'm just working on a new concept for smoking food. So I've got a little experimental smoker going on the side, doing some smoked duck breasts. So yeah, dinner tonight, smoked duck breast.
How long do you smoke a duck breast?
It's been going about three and a half hours now.
I don't know if I'll ever say anything weirder on an interview, but go ahead.
Yeah. How long do you smoke a duck breast for? It's been going 3.5 hours. So yeah, I look forward to trying that and see how far that's infused.
That sounds delicious. I just had duck for the first time in a while a few weeks ago. So yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm going to have to make that trek over to London eventually and get some of your awesome food. The last thing I wanted to say is just like, do you have anything you'd like to offer our audience today?
Well, it's quite difficult because I'm in such a small niche market. You know, the niche that I'm in is wood-fired pizza ovens and mobile catering. So if you're in the UK, if you're in that niche, if you want to come and see me at one of the discovery consultations, cook some pizzas together and all the rest of it, that really is the thing that we do best. It's coming to meet us, see where we make the ovens, and experience what the Dell is all about, really. And yeah, if you're into this niche, and I just can't understand it. You know, the American culture is kind of moving. I thought they were so much further advanced than us in food trucks. Oh my Lord. That movie Chef, I thought to myself I was going to get to America and I was going to see all these amazing food trucks and all the rest of it. Oh, I was in Atlanta and I went to the supposedly biggest food truck park in the States. I walked around it. There were about 3 food vendors, and I wanted to cry, because if that's what street food is about, then it's on a downer. And yet wood-fired catering and private catering in America should be a huge thing. And I would love to just talk to somebody about getting mobile street food and private party event catering. I mean, if you have a private party in America, all right, you have the barbecue and all the rest of it, and you have finger buffets. But now when we go and do private parties, we take this little unit. I mean, this is an oven on a little 3-wheeler trailer. We take it out, and I'll cook for like 350 people out of this little oven. So this oven here behind me, I can do 70 pizzas an hour out of it with just a 2-man team. Well, if you're selling a pizza for $6 and you can do 70 of them in an hour with a 2-man team, you can see what the potential for this product is and why it's taken the UK by storm. I mean, it's just crazy. The model that I've put together should be flying in America. So, yeah, if there's anybody out there watching this that wants to get an opportunity and maybe set up a mobile pizza business in the States with my model and my concept, I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will edit in your website and whatever landing page you want to send them to. I'll edit that in once I have it. And so when this goes out to the masses, we should be able to find some interest. I mean, just even if you have a business already, this is a nice little easy side business to start up if you can find the right help and if you have the right plan, which Jay obviously does. So Jay, I just want to thank you very much again for sitting through an extra hour of below 0-degree weather and being so lively. We wouldn't even know that you're like really freezing to death over there. But your stories are incredible, and your business is incredible. And I really thank you for doing this because I think this is an incredibly interesting interview. So I will look forward to talking to you at our next meeting. And actually, I'm moving to a different meeting, but I'll still be there for one of the nights. So hopefully you get in early enough to catch me for dinner or something.
Erica, thanks a lot. I wish you every success with your business as well. And Happy New Year. 2017 is going to be a stormer.
Oh, it sure is. And for those that are interested in more about what I do, a daily lead campaign, you can certainly go to dailyleadcampaign.com /free-stuff, and you can get my new book, 7 Sizzling Secret Video Marketing Tactics, how to boost your credibility, celebrity, and cash flow using videos. And I'll be happy to schedule a meeting with you as well to tell you a little bit more about what we do with YouTube and LinkedIn and all of that. So looking forward to seeing everybody soon on the next interview. And again, Jay, it's been wonderful and an honor to have you on the show. I'll look forward to seeing you really soon.
Goodbye.